Hey, everybody. So this week I went and saw the movie 5 Feet Apart, and I'm still working. I'm going to write up my review later on today, and I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty well done, particularly the acting was well done. And I came home and I had a Twitter from my friend Larry at LC Screen Talk where he was saying, how do you watch all these romances and not feel sad about being single? So I've been thinking about it. And so I thought I would do a little video where I kind of explain why it doesn't make me sad most of the time. Everyone has their moments, but for the most part. First, I thought I would just explain the kind of things that do make me sad. I've actually been a little bit depressed this whole week because of this whole scandal with all these people lying about college, get their kids in college, and that kind of thing depresses me because I just see people being so selfish and so terrible, and it makes me sad. And especially when it's just like so unnecessary, completely unnecessary. Like when there's not even any, because sometimes when people be selfish, I can kind of see a little bit where the motivation comes from. Even if I obviously it was the wrong choice, I can still understand the motivation. But when something is just for status or just for, like it's just really sad. It makes me very sad. And that's the kind of thing when people are just mean and hateful and frustrating. And that's the kind of thing that will get me down and make me feel very sad. And so I have my things. The other thing that sometimes makes me feel sad is that I'm 38 and there's no major prospects, and I have a lot of other problems that even if I were to meet somebody and were to get married in the next year, let's just say by some miracle, I probably will never be able to have any children. The likelihood of that happening is very small at this point. Being 38 and having as many issues with things that I have, I with endometriosis and other things, I don't think that's in the cards for me, which makes me a little sad. So sometimes if I think about that, and that's when movies tend to make me a little bit more depressed, is because there's a difference between being sad and being depressed. Movies that make you depressed are movies that make you feel without hope, make you feel despair, make you feel like giving up. Those are the kinds of that's depressed to me. Sad is just feeling loss, feeling grief, feeling, lots of other things. We certainly can be in a very healthy place and be feeling sad. In fact, we should, as we learned from Inside Out, we should be feeling sad in order to feel joy sometimes. So anyway, I sometimes will feel a little sad about, a little depressed about the fact that I'm never going to probably have my own children, which is a little bit sad. But anyway, as far as romance though, I guess there's a couple things. I don't like all romances, first of all, and I'm actually probably pretty tough on the genre. There's ones that people might just be like, whatever, it's just a rom-com, and I'm like, no, they had no chemistry, the writing was terrible, the whatever, and like Destination Wedding last year, which I absolutely hated. I really hated Little Italy last year. I really hated The Kissing Booth. So I certainly do not give the genre a pass, that's for sure. And I guess what I like about romantic comedies is I feel like they are hopeful, and the best thing in most people's life is the day that they get married and the day they fall in love. And most people fall in love in their life, and I just feel like watching the stories of people having the best time of their life is inspiring and makes me feel happy. And people can say all they want about how romantic comedies aren't realistic or they're cheesy or whatever, but I actually really disagree, because if you talk to any couple, you will ask them about their meet cute, ask them about if you talk to almost any couple and you ask them about how they met, how they got together, their story, how he proposed, all of that stuff is like right out of romantic comedy. There's usually some kind of meet cute, there's usually various obstacles, there's like funny dating stories, whatever, all of that until they finally get married, and then chaos ensues once they start having kids. Yes. Uh, and so I don't know. I just think that's something about the human experience, and love and companionship is a beautiful thing that's part of most people's lives. And it's a beautiful thing, even if it's not necessarily happening to me. I just think it's a beautiful thing. And I think love and kindness and companionship is a beautiful thing to celebrate and makes me feel hopeful and happy. And then the other thing, too, that I guess is kind of unique with me is that I've actually been really sheltered from divorce in my life. It's pretty weird to be 38 and almost nobody in my life has gotten divorced. And so my parents didn't get divorced. My grandparents didn't get divorced on either side. None of my cousins have gotten divorced. None of my good friends really have gotten divorced, which is crazy. I mean, and I have a lot of cousins, and none of them got divorced. And some of them religious, some not religious, the whole thing. They've all managed to make it work. The only people in my life, really, that have gotten divorced is I have a couple uncles on my mom's side that have gotten divorced and remarried, but are, well, at least one of them has remarried. Two of them have remarried and are in pretty wonderful marriages. So I don't know. I haven't seen a lot of the dirty underbelly of marriage and relationship, admittedly, in my life. For me, in my life, most couples, they find love, and it's a happy thing. And I do believe in my faith that if you don't get the opportunity to find that love in this life, then you will have it in the next life. And so, I think about all those soldiers who died at very, like young ages before they were able to find a spouse, and they're, up there waiting for somebody. And if it's not my turn here, who knows? Maybe it'll be my turn with one of them, and it'll be really amazing. And so, I don't know. I don't know what God has in store for me and why he has me on a certain path. But I just know I like stories about love and companionship and hope, and movies that make you feel good and that make you laugh. And that's what I like. And not all the time. Sometimes I like other stuff. And I actually am pretty well rounded in my movie viewing. But I love a hopeful romance. I love Slumdog Millionaire so much. It's one of the most hopeful movies I think I've ever seen. And so that's sort of my thoughts on why I love romantic movies. So, Larry, you have to tell me what you think of this excuse. And I mean, that's a big reason why I love Your Name. It's all about human connection and how the power of human connection will help us to save everybody around us. It's that connection that Taki and Mitsuha have, that even though it's through time, they save each other through their love, and that just is the best. So there we go. That's my thoughts on why I like romantic movies despite being single. So what do you think about this? If any of you relate to what I'm saying, I would love to hear. And thank you very much, and I'll talk to you later. Bye!